Another round of debate on the government's purchase of the Grand Lucayan Resort. The latest adding to the discussion is former Tourism Minister Obi Wilchcombe, who claims that Grand Bahama's failing economy is a result of a lack of the government's involvement on that island, not only present but past as well. Now, Mr. Wilchcombe also added that he believes the government had to subsidize the property to keep the jobs of those employees currently working there.
There was no real government intervention, which has always been the problem in Grand Bahama, the lack of government intervention, because we've left it to the port and then Hutchison Whampoa to run things. Well, that's the problem. But what happened was you had to become involved. If you're considering what happened to Driftwood shut down in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8 was done. And so you just had one major property. And that one major property is the Halukaya. And you had to do something to keep those jobs going in Grand Bahama. So the government had to get in one way or the other.
The former Member of Parliament for West End and Bimini, who appeared as a guest on Love 97's afternoon show On Point, says Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis is only following the footsteps of his predecessors, but his work has only just begun.
Faced with the circumstances, you can't blame what Ingram did, and you can't blame what Christie did, and you can't blame what Minnis is doing now, because he's doing really the same thing. Except he's gone one step further, because Hutchison has said, I don't want any further. I have no further interest in this property. He's now sent them $10 million as a deposit. But I don't think he's considering that next month when he takes it over, he takes everything over. It's a going concern. It's a property that's still open. And the reality is there are people who are working, and you then are responsible for everything. So when you hear the Minister of Tourism say we don't want to spend that much money, the truth is, they're going to spend a whole heap of money.
Meanwhile, adding to the discussion about the government's $10 million deposit is opposition leader Philip Davis. Davis says he thinks the government's dreaming, and that dream is nothing but a nightmare for the Bahamian people.
They are on a errand of folly. This is being done without any coherent plan as to how they are going to, for example, recoup this money. What business plan have they developed? How will this be beneficial for the government at the end of the day? Have they set out a business plan to say, well, the capital we're going to invest is $65 million. We have to renovate the hotel. That's going to cost an additional what? We don't know.
Mr. Davis also says the anecdotal numbers ranges anywhere from $70 million to $100 million to renovate the property. While some say it will only cost $30 million, Mr. Davis says no one really knows the exact dollar value. Again, he says this shows the folly of the government's decision. While touring the Grand Lucayan Hotel property yesterday, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis announced that the government hopes to complete the purchase of the $65 million hotel within the next 30 days. However, the PM says he wants to send a strong message to his cabinet and parliamentary colleagues from Grand Bahama not to get any ideas.
They are holding the hotel, preserve and protect the economy of Grand Bahama. Once a sale is available, this hotel goes as soon as possible. We would like to sell. I do not want my cabinet colleagues come forth with their list saying these are my 10 constituents I need hired. These are my 20. It won't happen. So you've heard it from the horse's mouth. It won't happen. Don't bring the list. If the management accept the list, that manager will be fired. So no list crazy, no list crazy. Okay? Bring it. We are not in that business. But as the memory is open, you can bring your list. Because then you would need more staff. But your list should be fair. Your list should consist of Bahamians.
When asked if he thought the price tag was too much, the PM responded with this.
Then you're talking about the lives of individuals and the economy of an entire nation. I don't think you can put a cost on that. You're talking about the demise of Grand Bahama. You walk through the market. You've seen individuals with near tears with the pain and the suffering they've gone through, and now how happy they are that there's some form of hope coming forth for them.
The Prime Minister says the government would like to see Bahamians purchase the hotel, reiterating the fact that the government does not intend to run the hotel, but to save the jobs of the 400 grand Bahamians who work there. All information regarding the deal, the PM says, will be presented in a complete report when Parliament resumes. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.